Welcome to the Life Coach Lounge. I'm Angela.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Emily.
This isn't a podcast for coaches. It's for you, for real people navigating real life. It's lighthearted, it's deep, and it's grounded in faith, friendship, and purpose.
And once a month, you can join us in our virtual Life Coach Lounge on Zoom.
So pull up a seat. The Life Coach Lounge is open.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the Life Coach Lounge. We're so thankful you're here with us. And I want to say hi to my friends Emily and Lisa. Hi, girls.
Hello.
We invite everyone here for real life conversations with real life friends. We may not always agree because it's real life after all, but we always choose connection. And we want everyone to know that you don't have to be a life coach to be in the lounge. You can come just as you are. We each have a one-on-one coaching practice. So if something we say today resonates with you, please reach out to us. So girls, we are talking today about reading and books. So do you remember a time in your life when you were teleported to another place and time while reading a book? How about that self-help book that you read that changed your habits forever? Or a devotional that spoke to your heart at exactly the right time? Books are powerful imagination tools. We can all learn from books, be challenged by books, and be taken away from reality through books. So girls, I thought I'd ask you some questions today. Get to know your book style a little better. So tell me, what style of book do you like to read? Is it Kindle? Is it paperback? Is it Audible? Maybe even hardcover? Like, where are we at with that?
I can get us started here. I always prefer a physical copy of the book. Never got into reading on a device. It doesn't matter if it's paperback or hardcover, as long as it's an actual book I can hold in my hands, turn the pages. I will occasionally read or listen to an audiobook, but I always prefer the actual book to hold in my hands. How about you, Lisa?
I do enjoy audiobooks. I am a huge fan of Audible and Libby. I'm not a big music listener when I'm in the car. I tend to like people chatting in my ear. So it's usually either a favorite podcast or an audiobook. I do agree though that if I'm going to be reading something, I want it tangible. I want to hold on to the book and flip the pages and not have it virtual on a Kindle or a device. What's your preference, Angela?
So I am paper book all the way. I read from my paper Bible. I like paper book, a physical book. It doesn't matter if it's paperback or hardcover, except when I travel, because then like the books get really heavy. So, and I don't travel with my paper Bible. I do read the Bible on my phone when I travel, but a paperback book when I travel always goes in my carry-on, because that's what I love to do on the plane is read. So girls, what would you say is your favorite style of book or book genre as far as, historical fiction, chick lit, autobiography? What do you like the best? Lisa?
Probably self-help. I love a good self-help book. If I want escapism, then it's more romance driven. If I want to just, like you said earlier, just kind of go off into my imagination world, then it's definitely probably a romance novel.
One of my favorite genres is historical fiction. I do love the occasional novel, but it really has to get me into it the first couple of chapters. Otherwise, I am out. So recently, I just read the book called Theo of Golden
Mm.
by Alan Levi. And that was a novel. And oh, talk about being transported into another time and place. I just couldn't put it down. So, historical fiction. And as far as nonfiction, I probably am more drawn to the self help, but in the category of like spiritual discipline, like spiritual growth, sort of self help books that are grounded in scripture. But then you mentioned biographies or autobiographies. I'm like, oh, I love reading about people's lives. So it's hard to pick a favorite. Those are probably my top.
Did you girls bring your books with you today? I'm just
I have them
curious.
sitting right on my desk. Yes.
Let's all just raise our books up
I
into,
have a whole
yes.
stack.
Yep. I brought a whole stack to the lounge. Y'all brought your
Yep,
stacks? Okay,
I
good.
do.
Yep. All right. I just want to make sure I wasn't the only one who brought my books to the lounge today, because yeah.
So my favorite genre is the autobiography, the memoirs. I love reading memoirs. Survivor stories are top, top, top. I love when I was in probably middle school, junior high, when I read The Hiding Place for the first time. And I just became a super fan of reading Holocaust survivor stories. I have bookshelves, plural, full of them. And I just love them. And it's, I used to think like, am I like some weird sadist or something? I love reading about this like horrible situation these people are in, but it's the survival. That's like, for example, I've never read Anne Frank because I know how it ends. She doesn't make it. So I just love the survival stories. I read a survival story of somebody who survived the Titanic. But then just memoirs. Like I recently read Ina Garten's new memoir, and that was super good. So yeah, reading about people's real lives, that's my favorite genre. So where are we going to buy our books, girls? Are we going to an actual bookstore, which, oh my gosh, I love, a thrift store? Are we Amazoning the books, downloading books? What are we doing? I think I know your answer, Emily.
What's your guess?
You're my thrifty girl.
I love a good deal. And we've got amazing thrift stores around here. So, yeah, if I can thrift a book, 100% the way to go. Although lately I have been, when I go to the thrift store, I tell myself we're not looking at books today because we have so many unread, ready to read, that it's getting a little out of hand. So it's my motivation to read through some of them before I add to the stack. But yeah, thrift store. Although there have been times when it's really easy to add to cart on Amazon and get it here in a couple days.
Yep.
So that's a
Sure.
close second.
We have the cutest bookstore in my town. So I do love going to more local, privately owned bookstores. I love Barnes and Nobles too, because you can really get lost in the oversized bookstores. But I love visiting little bookshops in different towns if we're on vacation or something like that. But sure, I have been known to grab it from Amazon and have it here. If usually that's my go-to if I'm impatient. I just want the book. I don't have time to make a trip out, then I'll just quickly order it. Most of my aromatherapy books, which I have shelves of, probably a solid 50 to 70% of those have come from thrift stores, though, because it includes books on herbs and plants and things like that too. So I'm kind of all three.
That's awesome. I have never thought to look for aromatherapy books in a thrift store, but when you say herbs and plants, I think, yeah, more the sciencey books. Probably why I don't look
Yep.
in that section.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a lot of science in those books.
Yeah. So, do you girls have a favorite place where you like to read or a favorite time of day when you always snuggle in and read something? I mean, snuggle in. I mean, maybe it's in your car. Sounds like, Lisa, you do the Audible thing. So, where do you like to read?
I want to be better at giving myself permission to sit down and read a book. And I'm not really there yet. So the way you phrased the question, I'm like, yeah, well, that sounds sweet. I'd love to sit down and get cozy and read a book. I don't make time for it, which might be why I listen to so many Audible books in my ears, whether I'm driving or cooking dinner or something like that. So I don't have like a set time. You're right. My set time is in my car. We hand out permission slips here at the Life Coach Lounge. So apparently I need to write one for myself as well.
I was actually in my mind just writing you a virtual one and going to give it to you just now,
Yes.
Lisa. Here's your
Thank you.
virtual permission slip to take some time and cozy up under a blanket.
Well, and don't make yourself wrong for listening to books in the car either.
True. I find that I enjoy reading books more when there isn't distraction or other noise to have to tune out. My brain has a really hard time tuning out conversations in the other room or if somebody's listening or watching something in the other room. And so I do have a comfy chair in the corner of our bedroom that I do like to cozy up and read a book. Usually it would be early in the morning or later in the evening when there isn't as much background noise. Although the white noise app on my phone is very handy when there might be somebody watching something in the other room or having a conversation to drown out that noise so that I can really focus on the book. But I think I need a little permission slip to enjoy reading more too.
Yeah, so several years ago, I challenged myself to not pick up my phone and look at my phone when I wake up in the morning, like while I'm still in bed. So I don't turn on my phone until I'm up. That has helped me read more because when I get up in the morning, I make my coffee, I sit in my prayer chair, and I will usually read one portion, not even a whole chapter, but one portion of a self help book before I do my Bible reading, just kind of like while my brain is waking up and I'm just having those first few sips of coffee. And I mean, I've read many self help books, just one little section at a time because I made the decision to do that. So yes, I have a favorite chair and a favorite time of day, first thing in the morning. I've tried to read in bed at night and I just get too tired and then I have to reread things and that has not worked for me. So, okay, how about this one? What was your favorite book to read to your kids when they were little? What comes to your mind right away, Emily?
You're asking me to choose one?
I
Like
know,
that's
right? I
that's like
know.
choosing a favorite child. That feels impossible. Oh, I have so many memories of when the girls were little and at bedtime, they would be, okay, both of you get to go pick out two books, or both of you get to pick out three books tonight, and we'd sit on one of their beds and just read the same picture books over and over. This isn't answering your question directly, but those minutes that turned into hours that yeah, turned into many, many hours. I wouldn't trade them for anything. There's this cute book called Snuggle Bunnies that we still quote to this day. That we all three have memories. Well, all four of us have memories of that one. And then there's another one, Home for a Bunny. It was a little golden book. I don't know why bunnies were the thing. Apparently they were cute. The girls liked the bunnies. But I still have those. Those are keepers forever. And then when they got older, we did some of the chapter books. I remember The Green Ember being a read aloud book that we just could not put down. They like begged for the next chapter because it was full of adventure.
I know. Lisa, how about you?
I would say for a picture book, it would be Goodnight Gorilla or Goodnight Moon. And yeah, I think it's Goodnight Gorilla. And then a favorite for both my kids, The Little Mouse, The Red Ripe Strawberry, and The Big Hungry Bear. And that is something that probably both my husband and I could still recite the entire book if we just had like a couple sentences to get us. It's like listening to a song you haven't heard in a while, and then but like Emily said, like if I were to say a line from that, my guess is my kids would be like, "Oh, I see," when they were pretending to be the mouse or the big hungry bear. So
I have not heard of that book.
yeah, that would be a favorite for both my kids.
I love it. So Goodnight Moon was the first one that came to my mind. And the same thing. I read it to my kids in such a sing-songy way that it comes back to me that way. But then when they got older, the Little House on the Prairie series, I think I might have enjoyed it even more than them because I got so into those books. And I've actually been thinking about rereading them. I enjoyed those books so much when I read them to my kids. And I never read Farmer Boy. So now I feel like I need to revisit it because I never read Farmer Boy. I didn't want to read a book about a boy. I don't know why. I just like Laura and Mary only, apparently. Okay, girls, are you like one of those people that like reads the end? Like you have to know what happened, and so you read ahead, you look ahead.
No way. That is
I
cheating.
I never do that either.
Nope. There are very few surprises in life. So
Yeah.
if I'm like, especially if it's a fiction, right? Like, and you're like, you're in that space. No, I want to ride that wave until I'm hopefully at the end and I'm like, oh, okay. Or it's a mystery or something. You're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Like, no,
Yeah. Yeah. My husband does that. He'll read the end and then he'll start the book. I'm like, what are you doing?
Jim, come on.
Tell him. No.
Does he need a coach?
Okay. He does actually. So if you're not enjoying a book, if you're having trouble getting into it, do you just scrap it and put it, just not feel guilty about it? Well, I've read it a little bit. I didn't get into it, and then start another one, or do you power through to the end?
I'll scrap it. I will give it a valiant effort, but if I just can't, I'll scrap it, even if it's an audiobook.
Same. I'll give it 2 chapters, maybe. I have no problem putting it down or donating it.
I have done it both ways. There's some that, were more offensive to me, and I had no trouble closing them up and putting them away forever. I am in a book right now that I'm just powering through it, and it's not going well. I need to like make a decision if I'm just going to sit down and finish it, because what happens then is I don't read. It's like it stares at me like that's what you have to read, and I'm like, no, thank you. I'll do something else. So yeah, I don't know why I'm doing that. This is good to talk about. Have you girls ever written a book or considered writing a book?
No, I have not written a book. I would consider writing a book. Kind of like a tattoo. I would consider getting a tattoo if I could make a final decision on what that would be. So I'm not opposed to writing a book. I need more inspiration. How about you, Emily?
Same. I have not written a book. I don't know that I've gotten to the point of considering writing one, but I have had swirling thoughts that I have some things to say. And what would that look like? Would that be a book? Would that be a devotional? Would that be something else? But no, I am not an author.
Yet.
Ghostwriters.
I have not written a book yet, but I am writing a book. I'm on the front end of writing a book about my 1 year spending fast, which we talked about on the podcast. So I was very inspired, and I have more to say about it, apparently. So I'm
That
going
is
to write.
awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I already met with an editor and all that. So, okay, moving on.
You heard it here, loungers.
I was going to say, no backing out now,
Hold me
Angela.
accountable. Yeah, I'm kind of skipping right by that, aren't I? So let's not land there too long.
Listen in, loungers. Listen in. Angela is being held accountable by all of us.
Okay, so do you underline in your books? Do you dog ear your books? Do you highlight? And kind of in the same vein, do you keep a book forever, or do you read it and get rid of it?
If I find nuggets in a book that I want to remember, I find myself writing them on a different paper, like in a journal or a notebook. So I don't underline or highlight in it right away. However, if there's a book that when I'm done with it, I know it's a keeper, it's staying on my shelf, I will like to read that again. The second time through, I would underline or make notes or dog ear pages. And there are some actually sitting here on the table next to me that I will read again. They were that impactful the first time. Others that I either pass on to somebody else or just donate, and one read was good and moving along.
Yeah.
I will 100% highlight, underline, and write in my books that are, again, like my aromatherapy books and things like that, that I use, whether they're my clinical books or even just information on how to grow and plant certain herbs and things like that. They're pretty marked up. And I have little, you would love this, Angela. It's not quite a sticker, but I have these little tabs that kind of stick out. So it's not kind of like a Post-it note, but they're little and pretty. And so they'll kind of stick out. And then for bigger books, I actually have the tabs that I can write on so that when I'm quickly referencing or I want to look something back up, I've made notes on those tabs so that I can quickly access that information. And then I used to be a dog ear until my friends gave me these cute little magnetic clasps that go on the top of my book. So when I'm reading, I have beautiful bookmarks now. So that's what I use now.
Same. Yeah. I think it depends for me what kind of book. Like if it's a self-help book that I know I'm going to keep, I have no problem underlining and taking notes in it. If it's kind of like, well, I've read this and I'm done with it, I'll just read it and I won't mark it up. Yeah. And then kind of the same with whether I keep it or not. If I love it and know that I'll reference it, or if it's part of a collection, like my survivor books are a collection of mine. My cookbooks, I have a cookbook collection. So then I do save them. Okay, girls, this is so fun. Okay, so I thought we would talk about some of our most favorite books. So if you can tell me, start with you, Lisa. Tell me one of your most favorite books and tell me why.
Okay, so I have all the genres here. All right, so I'm going to start with, and this is just a collection, see, because you use the words like most favorite, and I just grabbed things that were like easily attainable, like near my desk. I didn't even go to my bookshelf. So there's probably like, definitely the ride or dies are on the bookshelf, right? Because if they live on the bookshelf, they're not going in go to the thrift store basket. So I grabbed a couple. I'm going to start with Mitch Albom. I'm going to start with him. I have several of his books. So the two I had sitting close to me were The Timekeeper and The Next Person You Meet in Heaven. So those were the most recent ones of his that I actually sat down cozy like and read. But he's also a quick read, so I like that. I love his style of writing. I think he's just really great at exactly what you both were talking about earlier, where like you're just taken to someplace else. Like his way of writing makes you not only think about what he's saying, but you feel like you're right there in the moment, as if you're like sitting next to one of the people that he's talking about. You can just picture yourself having the conversation with those people. That's going to be my first one.
I have not heard of him.
No,
No.
I see you. Like you've heard of the book Tuesdays with Maury?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's him?
yep, that's
Oh,
him.
okay. Okay. Yep.
Yep.
I love this. I'm going to get new ideas.
I haven't read any of his books either, so now I apparently need to add him to my list of authors and books to look for next time I go to the thrift store. Instead of a favorite book, I think I need to tell you my favorite authors. So the first
Okay.
favorite author that I came up with was C.S. Lewis. Not easy reads, but so profound. And those are books I will read again because I will glean something new every time. So C.S. Lewis is definitely one of my favorites. The Great Divorce and the Screwtape Letters are two very impactful books by him. He has a book entitled How to Pray, also just such a good one. I want to read that one again. And then a more current author that I've really enjoyed lately is Brant Hansen. So he has written the book Unoffendable. He has written a book called Blessed Are the Misfits. So I've read both of those, and I think that might be his newest book that I haven't read yet, but listen to this title: Life is Hard, God is Good, Let's Dance.
Love that.
I just love his style of writing. He has part of his testimony is he is diagnosed with Asperger's. And so he just experiences life differently and it's kind of quirky, but he writes in a way that's so relatable and takes big theological concepts and just really makes them understandable and livable, I guess. I mean, I could keep going on and on. I guess those are my two favorite authors right
That's so
now.
awesome. That's so good.
I think that for me personally, I love listening to C.S. Lewis because, like you said, the books are not easy. And there's something about listening to his style of writing, because there's a lot of theology in his style of writing, right? So for me, and the way I learn, being able to rewind and play and rewind and play is how I can digest C.S. Lewis. I love like The Great Divorce, great book, but it was hard for me to read through. So I did get that one on Audible also because I'm like, I have to hear it to digest it. And Unoffendable, you mentioned that one too, Emily. My personal opinion is that should be like a mandated book that high schoolers read.
A mandated book for every human.
Mm-hmm. Like it should be in school before you graduate.
It is so good.
Mm-hmm.
You girls are giving me new books to put on my to be read list. Actually, I own The Great Divorce and haven't read it yet. It's in my to be read pile. So, my favorite book, if you took two of my favorite topics and smashed them together in one book, it would be The Choice by Dr. Edith Eger. It is a Holocaust survivor story. Is the first part of the book. It's her survival in Auschwitz. And then the second half of the book is when she becomes a psychotherapist, and through the therapy sessions with her clients, finds her own healing from her trauma. So this book would be for anyone, which is everyone, who has had a trauma in life and just really, wants to find those skills to overcome it. It is so, so, so good. And fun fact, Dr. Eager wrote this book when she was 90 years old. And she's still alive today. I think she's 98 or 99. So
Wow.
cannot recommend enough. I love it. In fact, I would love to do a book club around this book. So that, okay, loungers, listen up. Next year, maybe we'll do a book club around this book because I love it that much.
I bought it and it's in my to be read pile because you have talked about it so many times and that you love it. I am in on the book club whenever we want to get started.
Let's do it. Okay, anything else on the favorite books? I mean, I have a stack here. I can keep going.
Yeah, I would say my favorite, I'll move genres now. My favorite escapism book are any of the Nicholas Sparks book. Take me away to some coastal North Carolina, coastal beach. Okay, sign me up.
Yeah.
I have a question though, speaking of Nicholas Sparks, that makes me think any book that has gone to movie for him, any of his books that have been made into a movie, makes me curious. If you've read a book that then became a movie, will you see the movie before you read the book? I personally want to read the book first. So whether it's Harry Potter or a Nicholas Sparks book, or I don't know.
But then the movie is never as good. That's how I feel.
I know, but I want to know what I don't want to be like, oh, and now I'll go read the book. I want to have read the book and been like, okay, I can see where they went here, or because they're going to leave things out and take their liberties to change things up.
I feel like it's either or for me because when I have read a book, like the most recent one that I think I read was The Book Thief. Have you guys read that one? And then they have a movie. And so I was really excited to see the movie and how they put it together in cinema format. And it was still good, but they left out so much, which is always how it is, right? Because there are always more details in the book. And so, yeah, I feel like it has to be either or. So if I've already seen the movie, I may or may not want to read the book. And if I've read the book, I'm like, oh, there's nothing as good as the book. So I'll probably skip the movie. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I didn't think that question was going to stump you so much.
I don't like to be disappointed, especially if you're putting forth a couple of hours to invest in watching the movie.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, girls, I have one for you. This is kind of a genre leap for me, and it would be a fun, easy read meets self-help book. And it's from one of my favorite authors, Jennifer L. Scott. And she wrote the Madam Chic series of books. She's also a YouTuber, so you can watch. She has many, many, many videos on YouTube. Her YouTube channel is called The Daily Connoisseur. And when she was in college, she went to live in Paris for a year and was inspired by the family she lived with there that she nicknamed Madame Chic. That was the lady who ran the house that she lived in. And she wrote things that she learned while living in Paris. And it is so fun. And it's just so me. That's where I'm learning about the 10-item wardrobe is from Jennifer L. Scott. So hold me accountable to that too, please. Because, that's one of my goals for the new year. So anyways, such a fun book. She has several of them and she's coming out with a new one right now. So those are just fun, easy reads.
I love it.
Okay, girls, what's on your list to read next? I have a little stack here of books to read. The problem with my survivor stories is there's a finite number of Holocaust survivor stories. So, and not all of them have been translated into English. So I've read many, many, many of them. Still have many more to read, but there is an expiration date on those. So I do have a little stack here. In fact, one of the books that has been on my to read list forever. And I want to know, have you girls read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People? It's like an oldie, but it's in my stack to read.
I have not read that one, but it is on my list. I don't have it, but it is on my list in my notes app for sure. In preparing for this episode, I realized just how many books I'm in the process of reading that maybe have collected a little too much dust because I have several. So the ones I am currently reading, there's one called Telling Yourself the Truth, and I am in the middle of the Shepherd trilogy, which I have mentioned here before by Philip Keller. I am in the middle of Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortland. And I am currently reading through a book called Five to Thrive: How to Determine if Your Core Needs Are Being Met and What to Do When They're Not by the brilliant Dr. Kathy Cook. So yeah, it's time to finish some of these and maybe do one at a time. So something fun that I just began a month ago was a friend of mine lives like 4.5 hours away. We used to live in the same community and they moved a handful of years ago. And we decided to start reading a book a month together and then getting together once a week on Zoom to discuss. And last month we read through a whole book. And this month we're planning to do another whole book. So it was really interesting to me that when I was accountable to meet with her once a week to discuss the couple of chapters or the 70 pages that we read, I got it done. Whereas these other books I just mentioned have been on my nightstand for months and not finished. So I need to learn how to keep my word to myself as well as I keep my word to another person. But it shows me that I can actually make time.
Yes. Good to notice.
Accountability is good for that, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating how tall the stack of TBR gets to be. I don't even have all of them close at hand. So, yeah, it does get to be. And yet, at the same time, it doesn't intimidate me. We'll add to the list and, like Emily just said, maybe dust them off on occasion. But I don't get intimidated that, oh my gosh, will you ever get through those? And some of them I've started. Like, so for me, Elizabeth Gilbert, Big Magic, started it, not finished it.
I have that on my list to be read too. So if you want accountability, let me know.
Yeah, I do want accountability. One of the ones on my list is what Emily mentioned earlier. One of her favorites is Theo of Golden. That's on my list to read. And then again, my escapism author of the moment is Emily Henry books. She has books like Happy Place and Funny Story. They're just like couple romance books. Great for throwing in when you're traveling and sitting by the pool and things like that. So,
well, we have no shortage of books. And you girls have given me some great ideas. I'm going to have to go back and take notes on some of that. It was really good. So, listeners, did you know that reading a book is reading the author's thoughts? The greatest book, the Bible, is reading God's thoughts. And when we align our thoughts with his thoughts, we are transformed by the renewing of our minds. This is why investing in a coach is so important, and we are here for you. A coach comes alongside you to look at your thoughts together with curiosity and compassion. If you have never read the Bible, or if you've tried to read it and just didn't understand what you were reading, I would love to recommend the Bible Recap. I've talked about it here several times. You can read or listen to the entire Bible in just 20 minutes a day with a 7-minute recap. And you will have read the whole Bible in 1 year. That is so amazing to me. And also, please share your favorite books with us. We would love to feature your comment in a future episode. Thank you for being with us today and for this fun discussion about books. Hopefully we inspired you to make yourself a cup of tea, pick up a book, and read a little more. Lisa and Emily, thanks for the great discussion. And when I'm done reading today, I'll see you in the Marcos.